filmmaker's paintbrush. The camera's movement, its placement, the composition of the frame, the lighting, all combine to tell a visual story. We have selected a few sequences from the great masters, each with a distinctly different visual style and a different application. Jean Cocteau's Beauty and the Beast. Beauty has not yet met the owner of the strange castle in which he is hostage. Curiosity leads her into the garden. The director of photography who turned Cocteau's poetry into images was Henri Pierre Alacan. Cocteau took the great Flemish painters of the Renaissance as a model for his light sources, his costumes, and his composition. Watch as the soundtrack drops out completely, leaving only the camera and lighting to set the mood. Anne and Muriel, two English girls. Francois Truffaut's film of a novel by Henri Rocher. As in Rocher's Jules and Jim, again it is a story of three people in love. Claude and Anne have secretly gone to the country to be alone for the very first time. In order to maintain the intimacy of this scene, Truffaut has chosen to keep the audience and his camera at a distance. Truffaut timed the traveling camera exactly so that the background and the action of the actors blend. Rocking Horse Winner. D.H. Lawrence's strange and wonderful story of human greed and the need for love and understanding.
Now take me.
He rides in desperation, a vain hope that his second sight in picking a racing winner can somehow stop the haunting whispers that fill the house.
Well, that is rather curious, isn't it?
Alfred Hitchcock's The Lady Vanishes.
All these people on the train say they haven't seen Miss Croy, but they have. We know that.
Hitchcock has said you let the audience find out a bomb is under the table, but keep the knowledge from the characters in the story. The suspense will mount as the audience waits for the explosion. In this case, the bomb is 2 drugged glasses of wine. The audience already knows that Paul Lucas, the doctor, is the villain.
He seems to have made a speedy recovery.
So that's just bluff.
Hitchcock's camera controls the wine glasses, and the wine glasses control the scene.
Oh, but how could he be involved in a conspiracy? Look at him, the poor fellow. He's just a harmless traveler.
He's also a music hall artist making a tour of Bandrika.
Well?
The Baroness, his husband, is Minister of Propaganda. One word from her, and his tour would be cancelled.
Oh, I see.
As for the stewards, if they don't know what they're told, they've got a nice cozy brick wall to be
But tell me about the 2 English travelers. They also denied seeing her.
Yes, just British diplomacy, Doctor. Never climb a fence if you can sit on it. It's an old Foreign Office proverb.
What I cannot understand is why should anyone want to dispose of the old lady?
Well, that's just what's done first, but all we know is that she was here on this train, and now she's gone.
Well, if you're right, it means the whole train is against us.
What are we going to do?
Well, in view of what you just told me, I shall risk examining the patient.
Come on.
One moment. You mustn't act suspiciously. Behave as if nothing had happened. Drink. That'll steady your nerves. Oh. To our health. And may our enemies, if they exist, be unconscious of our purpose. Let's go. We must hurry now.
Come on, drink up.
David O. Selznick's The Most Dangerous Game. The subjective camera and the chase.
Don't lose your nerve. We beat this thing.
The others didn't.
We will.
On the very same set on which King Kong was shot, Joel McCrae and Fay Ray flee the Baron Zaroff,
let's get going.
Leslie Banks. Baron Zaroff, a master sportsman, is bored with big game hunting. On his island, he hunts human beings. The camera movement through the foliage thrusts the viewer directly into the chase. Ingmar Bergman's The Silence. Two sisters and the small son of one are strangers in a country which we, the audience, realize is involved in an undefined war, which Bergman only symbolizes. It could be World War II or a war in the future. In order to communicate a feeling of the boy's isolation, Bergman chooses to position his camera overhead. Bergman orchestrates a motion picture. He uses the camera as a substitute for music. He conducts with it. He choreographs with it. To Bergman, each scene has an inherent musical theme. Bergman relies on the human face to tell much of his story, often holding on a close-up, long after other filmmakers would cut to another shot, waiting for some change of expression, some signal that betrays an innermost thought. We find our actors do not speak or understand the language. However, despite the human problems, the impulse to understand, to learn a few words in a different language, to grow, is the underlying thrust of Bergman's The Silence. No evidence that out of the USSR and its almost static film production of the last 20 years would burst forth one of the freest, most flexible, yet disciplined cameras of our generation. The handheld camera is Parajanov's basic tool. It enables him to move quickly from one character to the next, and yet maintain a sense of their spatial relationship to each other.
Коники, ей, мои коники.
Чуєш, хлопчику? Нема овець.
Люблю тебе, файна юбко, та й твої словечка. А як буду до вечереки, білі вівці пасі, буду до моєї співаночки за хрестані класі. Ой, кувала me зазулька, та й колокотичка, а хто склав співаночку Іван.
The wedding scene, with the use of the camera carried to a new dimension, lighting, movement, and lens selection combined to convey the mood of the procession. By joining different shots at the point of maximum confusion, Parajanov makes it seem as if we are watching one long, continuous, uncut movement.